on today's show, Minnesota lakes full of gold. That is not a good thing in the city of Edina.
Are you ready to have some fun?
Plus, cops take a break to help kids go fishing. And an ATV adventure worth a visit.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hi everybody, Bill and I welcome you to Minnesota Bound.
Along with Minnesota Bound Millie.
That's right, Millie is our new mascot of Minnesota Bound. She's a 9-week-old black lab puppy.
Yep, you will definitely see her around. Right, Millie? Hey, up first, we've got a story about invasive species. It sure seems like we're hearing more and more about them taking over lakes, prairies, and woods.
That's right, and one of the newest cities they have invaded is Edina, Minnesota.
Yeah, this story, let's just say, to see is to believe. Ah, Edina Lakes, so beautiful, and suddenly so hornet green. What gives? I can tell you, it's the gold.
I think it's another one of those things that until you see it, you might not understand it.
Researchers find themselves on Lake Cornelia probing murky, turbid water. They believe families dump their unwanted pets into the lake, specifically pet goldfish.
If a couple people do that, now you've got a pair. And that pair can turn into thousands, and that thousands can turn into millions.
Jordan Ween's research crew electrofishes to figure out just how many fish might be in Edina lakes. Probes shock fish. Researchers scoop them up.
I had 22. What's your total?
25.
So that's just under 50 in about 11 minutes of electrofishing. It's tough to tell what that means for the actual population until some data gets entered and gets analyzed, but that's still a lot of fish. Other places around here have seen lots of these bright gold fish, and they say, are those a problem? And we say, yeah, they're a problem. Well, what do we do about them? We don't quite know yet.
For now.
So these are goldfish.
Jordan wants to know just how bad the problem might be.
They start off as what Brady's got, and these bright orange ones. Then eventually they start losing their bright colors.
The goldfish actually adapt and lose colors so predators can't pick them off.
Seems like it's just losing that characteristic. Right now, we're basically studying to see what that population is, because you really have to have a good starting point before you start doing management. There we go.
That means tiny trackers.
They're basically just the same as a pet chip. You just kind of go right under the skin, pop it in, make sure it's closed up. And that sound, you just check to see what number that fish is. So, this guy's all done. We'll toss him back in.
Monitor stations around several local lakes will track movement,
It'll sound something like this.
recording individual fish.
So we'll know which fish is going where, when, how often.
Understanding that movement and the population should help with an eventual management plan. That's the good news. The bad, initial evidence suggests conventional sport fishing here might be about dead.
Goldfish do still get pretty big pretty quick. Within a year or two, they're probably larger than most predatory fish would be able to eat them.
They also stir up silt, leading to lakes that look like this.
My program in Hennepin County is strictly about aquatic invasive species prevention and slowing down.
Tony Bruff still sees hope.
We're going to learn. We're going to learn how to manage these.
His first bit of advice, pretty simple. Stop throwing your pet fish in the lakes.
There's pet adoption. There's a lot of online forums for that. And if not,
Fertilize your garden with them. It's just the right thing to do.
The steps to prevent a lot of these actions are just so simple that I do believe it will just become our culture, and everybody will do it just because they know why and it's easy to do.
Advice worth its weight in gold, unless you're into this. Murky water makes clear we better get better at protecting city lakes.
What we have here in the metro is amazing. A lot of cities don't have water resources like this.
Coming up next, officers take time off to share their outdoor passion with kids.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems, Ice Castle Fish House and RV, Leech Lake Area Tourism, and by Coors Light. Minnesotans making a difference.
Up next, police officers take a break to get on the water by volunteering their time to the kids in their city.
Lake Minnetonka's docks tend to keep pretty quiet on midweek mornings
Here we are, here they come.
until the limo shows up.
All right, are you guys ready? We're gonna have a great day on the lake. We're gonna head over here and get some life jackets.
Hopkins police wait on these kids fully armed for a fun day of fishing.
We're super excited to have all you guys out here today. Are you ready to have some fun? Yeah! We're out here on Lake Minnetonka for our annual Cops and Kids fishing adventure. All right, so if this group, Team A, wants to follow me, you guys will be on this boat.
The looks speak volumes.
It's fitting that he drives. He is the captain at the police department. Every year we like to take youth from our community and teach them the skills of fishing, teach them about respect and how to conserve our natural resources.
Chief Brent Johnson calls the program Cops and Kids.
What kind of bait do you want to use today? The first couple weeks in June, for the last 9 years, we've been out here.
18 Hopkins kids on the water. Today, the name should be Cops and Kids and Fish.
Oh, there you go.
Taking the children who may not have the opportunity or may be a little disadvantaged at times and take them out with a bunch of our officers and staff and teach them this wonderful sport of fishing. Push the button and throw it out. And if we don't teach our youth at this age how to do it, they probably will never take it up. It's these positive mentorships, these positive experiences that really have a significant impact on the youth.
They're coming in quick now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness! Hold it up a little bit. Can you hold it up?
Plenty of willing panfish come to hand.
That's a good catch. Do you want to hold the fish?
No,
No?
not really. I'd like it to go back in the water.
All right, let's put it back in the water.
Look at that!
Is that your biggest fish ever? At the police department here, we're all about building relationships and building those relationships that they necessarily might not have with law enforcement. You did it! All right, we're progressing
Today, progress made on the fishing front.
from not touching the bait to taking our fish off. It's a great day out here.
Yeah, mine's inside.
There he goes.
A story about cops and kids together. And of course, a love of fishing. Still ahead, it's time to get away. This ATV adventure comes with a view.
Closed captioning provided by Star Bank.
Sure has been a weird world the last year or so, right? People are looking for places to get away. And Jared Christie found a destination that you might say is worth a gander.
There's lots of reasons to visit South Dakota. Mount Rushmore, Deadwood, and the Badlands certainly top the list. But if you're looking for that next great off-road adventure, then it's time to visit the Black Hills. We set up camp for the week at Spearfish Canyon Lodge, just 45 minutes west of Sturgis.
Right where Spearfish Canyon Lodge is kind of the center of that action.
Scott Benton is the general manager at Spearfish. He's also gonna double as our guide this week.
I'm going to take you up to Cement Ridge, and that's a fire lookout. We're also going to go see Custer Peak, and then we're going to go to Preston as well, which is an old mining town as well, and a cemetery.
We chose Spearfish because of the location. From here, you can go to all those places and more.
Over 3,500 miles worth of trails and road systems.
We're doing all that this week?
Not quite, no.
Okay, cool. Well then, let's load up and head to Custer Peak. Custer Peak is located just 7 miles from Deadwood. The peak is named after General Custer, who explored the area in 1874. Locals say he even signed his name somewhere on the peak. We looked, couldn't find it.
Really making us work here, Scott. Watch your step coming down. The burn, I can feel it. Scott, Custer Peak.
Yep, we made it 6,800 feet.
Now, Custer Peak is right in the middle of the Black Hills.
Correct, right in the middle. You can look out to the north and you can see all the way to the northern Black Hills. Look to the south, you can see all the way down to the southern Black Hills. When people think of South Dakota, I don't think they realize that we do have some areas that get, 6,500 feet, 7,000 feet. When you think of South Dakota, most people think of eastern South Dakota where it's all flat. It's really a treasure out there that a lot of people don't really truly understand.
It's an exceptional day up here.
It is, it's an awesome day.
With Custer Peak behind us, we headed down the mountain to our next spot. But to get there, we ran into quite a few roadblocks.
Over the last week and a half, we've had a series of 2 different tornado events that have come through almost the same area and almost the same path.
Everywhere we go, down trees.
Crazy, yeah, we definitely don't get tornadoes out here very often. Pretty used to severe weather, but nothing like that. Tornado or high winds. Usually you'll see a few down trees, but not like this. The amount of damage that it did, it's sad to see that to the forest up here, but it's something you definitely don't come across every day up here. Clean off halfway up. You guys want to build a fort?
With our path blocked, we downshifted and went to Iron Creek Lake for lunch.
Beautiful, beautiful territory, off the beaten path. When it's hot out, the lake's great to go take a swim in, rent some paddle boats. You can just hang out for the day here.
Iron Creek is the perfect pit stop for riders and visitors.
We go out on the weekends and go, parents and in-laws and cousins, and we're always out in the woods exploring and checking out new sites and going to some of our old favorites as well.
If you'd like us to highlight your favorite outdoor activity, send us a message on Instagram. We'll add it to our list.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Oreo Cookies and Ritz Crackers, Mountain Dew, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
If those 4 guys at the monument were around today, I'm sure they'd jump at the chance to go with us to Cement Ridge.
Cement Ridge is a fire lookout where its elevation's about 6,700 feet.
And much like Custer, Cement Ridge is just a half-hour ride from Spearfish Canyon Lodge.
Awesome. You can see for miles. I mean, a little cloud cover today, but on a normal sunny day, you can see for miles.
You'll notice that Cement Ridge looks a lot like Custer Peak, but with one big exception.
So we're at Cement Ridge. What are we looking at right here?
We're in Wyoming right now.
Wait. I thought this red was going to be in the Black Hills of South Dakota.
It is still the Black Hills.
That's right. Part of the Black Hills actually falls in Wyoming.
But we can see South Dakota from Wyoming, so it's okay.
We're real close to the border where South Dakota and Wyoming meet, and we're looking over a little bit of Wyoming here, and then as you go to the west a little farther, we're back into South Dakota.
This is a popular spot?
This is a very popular spot.
So popular that Scott popped the big question right here a few years ago.
He got engaged up here.
Yep, right here.
Here. What'd she say?
She said yes. I'm a lucky man, so.
Forgot to ask that part.
Now that we've checked off the highest peak in South Dakota, we're off to one of the oldest.
So what are we looking at right here?
We're looking at one of the structures that remain from the old town of Balmore, which was established in the 1880s. Had a population of about 400 people.
South Dakota is littered with old mining towns. This one went south in the early 1900s. All that's left is this home and the old schoolhouse.
I might not get too far up the stairs here. I feel if I just did this, it might go. So let me get this straight. The tornado came through here, but this somehow survived.
Yep.
The tornado also hit Spearfish Canyon Lodge. Fortunately, the building stood strong.
The lodge here was built in 1995. Spearfish Canyon Lodge is in the middle of Spearfish Canyon. It's 13 miles south of the city of Spearfish.
And here's the crazy fact about this place.
The canyon itself that it sits in is older than the Grand Canyon.
People come from all over the world right here to Spearfish to explore the area. Top on the list for most visitors, the waterfalls.
So Scott, one of the things I've noticed already is all the destinations are pretty close, and this one is just down the road from the lodge.
Yes, exactly. This is Rough Rock Falls where we're at now. There's a hiking trail that leaves from the lodge parking lot that you can walk actually right up here to it. It's about a mile walk, nice and gradual. Then for those that don't want to walk, they got a parking lot right here. You can drive right
walk.
here.
We drive here, walk. Forget that. Walk a mile. Come on now. So, but once you get here, you got to take a little trail to get in?
A little trail that couple hundred yards, we can walk right down and get a good view of the falls.
After you, sir.
Okay, let's go check it out.
Is this the biggest?
The biggest one right here.
The biggest one's right here, okay.
This is Rough Log Falls.
It looks nice. It's awesome.
There's no shortage of great rides and great places to go in the Black Hills.
The good life out on the trails.
Certainly is. Always a great summer adventure, those ATV rides.
No doubt. Well, that about does it for us. We'll see you back here next week.
In the meantime, Millie, Bill, and I want to make sure you introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Well,
She sees something over there.
yeah.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.